We'll share the details right after the meeting, or rather after this session. It's not really a meeting, it's a session. So I'm excited to be hosting this session alongside my superior, who is in the background today. She has told me to take the front seat. Marianne, welcome. I know she's going to be sharing more with us in the background and in the chat as well. And on top of that, I would like to welcome our star of the show, our guest speaker of the day. We have Eunice Gikonyo, who is our guest speaker. She's a global recruiter, and she's the reason we are here today. This is basically all about her, and she's the one who's going to be answering all our pressing questions today. And I hope that you all have your questions prepared, because she is ready to answer them all. Yeah. So feel free to actually ask any question. I'll guide you through it, and I will make sure at least we can be able to have a smooth session in that. If you have a question, you can raise your hand if you do want to go off mute. And if maybe you are not in a position to go off mute, you can just share your question in the chat, and then we can just get to it. Okay. So Eunice, this is the moment to introduce yourself.
Yay. Hello. Hi. Hi, everyone. Thank you very much, Jesse, for that brief introduction. Hi, everyone. Good evening. I believe we are all in the same time zone. If not, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I don't know. Good night, whichever time zone you are in right now. Thank you very much for joining this session. A brief introduction. My name is Eunice. I am a recruiter. I have been in the recruitment space for a couple of years now. We've had another session with Marianne some time back, and she invited me today just to answer your questions. So I would like to mention that today's session is mostly about you. So whatever question you feel like you want some clarification on, shoot it out. We'll be able to answer as much as we can. And sometimes if we may not have the answer, we'll be able now to guide you on how to go about it at a later time. So yeah, I'm excited. I look forward to sharing my input to you guys, and I hope that it's going to be of value to you as an individual and as you maneuver your career. Let's just say that for now.
Yay! Thank you so much, Eunice. That was a lovely, lovely introduction. Alrighty, so I think maybe we can even start by getting to know you a bit more before we even get into the pressing questions of a job seeker and a recruiter. Yeah. So how did you start your journey as a recruiter? How did you become a global recruiter? Because I know that's not just a step, you just apply for a job and then you're there. So what was your process like? Yeah.
I would say it's not. Yes, it's not. It's a stage. It's a more of a ladder that you take one step at a time till you get to that level. How I got myself into recruitment. My background is in HR. I'm a HR profession by education, by whatever. So my background has been in HR. I've worked in the HR department, and then I specialized in recruitment. So my area of specialization when it comes to the HR is in the recruitment side. I have been at it for about 4 or 5 years now. And how I became a global recruiter is I put myself in a space where I'm working with global clients, and that is what earned me the title of global recruiter. So I can't say I only recruit talents from Kenya, or I work with clients based in Kenya only. I work with global clients and also recruit global talents. Yeah.
Nice. So you recruit both local and global talents, yeah?
Yeah.
What would you say has that experience has been for you from what you've experienced so far as a recruiter? What would you say it's been like for you, both the good and the bad?
I would like to say the good. The good is the fact that you may feel like where you are right now, you're kind of stuck. But the truth of the matter is there are some people who are waiting for you on the other end. And you just need to place yourself in positions that they can be able to find you, they can be able to locate you, they can be able to see you. And that's the moment that you'll be able now to go to the next stage. The bad is that in every stage or in every transition, it comes with other things. In every transition of life, there are positive and there are negatives, but sometimes it's all a matter of looking with a different perspective or seeing how the transition has done to your career, the impact that you're bringing on board, the people that you're getting to network with, and just accepting the changes of life. For example, I would say working in the remote sector, it's kind of lonely. I would say that. We are used to this community that we build with our colleagues at work, we hang out after work and all. But when you start working remotely, those things won't be there. You'll be only be meeting people via Zoom. So it can be lonely. So those are the side of the not fun part. But another thing is the exposure that you get working with international remote teams, you cannot compare it.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I love that you've mentioned that, because I know there are many people who are with us here right now who are mostly looking for international remote roles. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
So maybe they think it's all fun working from home, it's all fun with the money, but they don't know maybe the downfall, or not, I wouldn't call it the downfall really. I'd call it the other side of
Yeah.
working remotely. So it's
Yeah, the
good that
truth
you've
of the
actually
matter
shared that.
is everything in life, it has the pros and the cons. No matter how good it is, no matter how swift, how soft, how easy it is, there are always the pros and the cons. So, but I always believe that in every situation, the pros always outweighs the cons. I don't know. Maybe that is
Yeah.
me looking at another perspective. So it
Yeah.
depends on you how you want to look at it. But the truth of the matter is the money is good, yes. But besides the money being good, there is that you will need to step up. You won't
Mhm.
be, it's not a matter of just showing up to report to work 9 to 11. You have to do the work.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's absolutely true.
Mm.
So I'm looking at how people are looking for remote roles.
Mm-hmm.
And nowadays, especially seeing as you're working also as a global recruiter, yeah, that
Mm-hmm.
is mostly the modern way of work now. And also, people are looking for roles that are not just in Kenya or East Africa or Africa anymore. They're looking for beyond that.
Mm-hmm.
So, while recruiting globally, what would you say is the one thing that a global recruiter usually considers when trying to hire um, a job seeker from maybe Kenya or East Africa? What is that one thing that you usually underline and say that this is one particular quality I'm looking for in such a person?
I would say, especially when we are trying to look for people based in Africa or whatever region we are hiring from, what we look at is, have you placed yourself in a situation where we can reach out to you? Do you look like you're this person who wants to work with an international team, a
Mhm.
diverse team? How do you present yourself to be searched? That's what I can say. Because there is a matter of fact, like you're looking for a remote job, but where are you looking for these remote jobs?
Mm,
Another thing, how have you placed yourself on the pipeline or the database for you to be searched, for you to be located, such that if I see your profile, I'll be like, oh, this person, from how they're presenting themselves online, or maybe through this profile or whatever they have, may it be a LinkedIn profile, may it be the CV, how they're
mm,
presenting themselves, they they look like they're people who can be able to present themselves in an international, whatever diverse team. So it's all a matter of where have you placed yourself? How have you placed yourself? How do you look? When me as a recruiter see your profile, what do I think first? Even before I talk to you, what do I think about you first?
sorry about that.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
it's all a matter of you placing yourself in places where you can be found. Because the truth of the matter is, people are looking for you guys.
Yeah.
People are searching, and it's so hard. It's so hard to get someone, especially in the African market. Let me just say African market, which represents the whole of Africa, but not all the countries. Because it's easier to get someone from South Africa. It's not easy to get someone from Kenya sometimes. Sometimes it's not easy to get someone from different countries in Kenya. I don't want to be specific, but yeah, have you placed yourself in a situation where you can be found by recruiters who are looking to connect you to these international clients or international companies or global companies?
Yeah. All right. So before I even ask my next question, I would like to remind our audience and our guests, other guests, that if you do have a question, please raise your hand and we'll be sure to get to you so that you can ask your question and Eunice can answer.
Yeah,
So
Calvin raised.
yes,
Yeah.
Calvin, please feel free to unmute and you can ask your question. Calvin, are you there? All right, okay, I think maybe they're having a technical issue. Okay, so as Calvin gets to maybe sort it out, then maybe you can go to the next person and then he'll be able to come back later. So Brian Otieno, kindly ask your question.
Hi, Eunice and Josie. My question is, how be able to
Sorry, you didn't get that.
my question is, how can we be able to make CVs which they are good enough to be spotted by the recruiters there? Yes. So
If I got your question is, how would you be able to make CV that makes you spotted to the recruiters?
Yes.
Okay, yes. So I would like to mention that where we are right now, we're in the world of AI. There are so many applications. There are so many. I can't even mention all of them. There are so many that can help you come up with a good CV, a good ATS friendly CV. Number one, you need to have an ATS friendly CV. I'm sure that is a discussion that maybe you can take with Career Kickstarters. I see they help people to be able to learn how to make their CVs, but you need to have like a good CV that match you to the job that you're applying for. And also something else, it's not a matter of how many applications you send. It's all a matter of how many quality applications you send. It's better to send 2 quality ones than dump 10 applications or dump 10 CVs to different applications, but you cannot meet the job. Another thing is, before you submit your CV, make sure that you tailor your CV to meet the job that you're applying. Your one CV cannot apply to the 3 different jobs that you want to apply. Yes, the jobs can be the same. Let's say, for example, a digital marketer or any other role. Yes, your background is in digital marketing, but your CV, the layout of your CV, how you've framed your achievements in your CV, it cannot match across all the jobs. So make sure sometimes you just tailor a bit, just to be able to fit your CV to that specific job.
All right, Brian, I hope she has answered your question.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so I actually agree with what you said, Eunice. Tailoring a CV to meet every particular job is very, very important. And I feel like that's where many people usually get it wrong. They just forward their CVs to every job application they see without so much as looking at what exactly the job role maybe is asking for. Yeah. And that's where actually we come in as Career Kickstart. We usually try to help you get your CVs right for every particular role that you're applying for. We usually help you at least make sure that your CV is standing out and it represents you best in the job that you're applying for. So if you do need any help with your CVs, do reach out to us. You can even maybe join our job search group. We do have a community where we usually interact we have one-on-ones with our members and try to help them understand how to be able to maybe optimize their CVs, their LinkedIn profiles, and be able to stand out in the job market or make themselves a brand that will stand out even to recruiters. Yeah. So as we wait on other people maybe to raise their hands, we have some other questions in our chat. We have from Precious Waheto. She asks, she says, good afternoon, and asks, how does one position themselves to get the jobs internationally? Where do people get these jobs?
Okay, yeah, that's a very interesting question. Yeah, where do people get these jobs? The truth of the matter is, I don't want to say there are specific platforms where international jobs are placed or advertised, but they are. There are websites where you can be able to get developers jobs. There are websites you can be able to get designers jobs. There are websites you can be able to get digital marketing jobs. There are websites you can be able to get any type of job. So what you need to do for you as a job applicant, be able to check, do a Google search. Google search is very resourceful. Just do a search and be able to see which platforms fulfill the jobs that you're looking for. We even have LinkedIn. I would say we have LinkedIn, but my issue with LinkedIn is sometimes you may not be able to get to know if the job is filled or not. So sometimes it's easier to go outside of LinkedIn and maybe even check on these company websites where you can be able to get jobs. I can share a sample of websites that you can be able to get international jobs or fully remote jobs. We have We Work Remotely, Digital Nomads. Where is the other one? We have even Indeed, we have even in Glassdoor, we have Upwork for gigs, we have Fiverr. So it's all a matter of you doing a quick search, just be able to see if I am looking for a digital marketer job, which is the best platform to help me get that job, which is the best platform to even connect me with potential employers who are hiring that job. Yeah, so it's all a matter of you doing your research just to be able to see which platform serves your needs.
Yeah. All right. So basically, even for those that are still wondering which these sites are, if you're into the job search community, we do have a list of these work sources, the job sources. So we can share maybe the sources with you in the group, and you can be able to check them out yourself. There's so many. Trust me, the jobs are actually
There's
plenty.
so many. Even another quick hack, just go to ChatGPT, right? I'm looking for a remote job in this field, blah, blah, blah. What type of sites would I get such jobs? You'll get a 1,000 recommendations, and then you'll be able now to dig deeper.
Yes, yes. Like Eunice earlier said, just take advantage of AI. We have AI nowadays, so you don't have an excuse.
Yeah, we don't.
All right, so maybe we can go to the next question before we go to unmuting the guys who are raising their hands. Eric, Musha, no, the next is Pauline. Pauline was asking for the international jobs. I have noticed that when one applies and you're not from that country, the system automatically rejects you. How can one bypass that?
You cannot bypass that. That's funny. You cannot bypass that. Just apply to the jobs that are open to international markets. Apply to jobs that do not have specific country of origin. Apply to jobs that are fully remote, working from anywhere. Don't apply to a remote job, but you can see up down there they have written US. Okay, don't apply to a job that is remote, but they have said that talents to be based in a specific country. You will automatically be disqualified. Even when you're submitting your application, you'll find that they will ask you what is your country of origin or where will you be working from. The moment that you say a different country from the one that they have listed, you'll be automatically disqualified. So you cannot bypass that. You can stop wasting your time by applying to those jobs. Apply to jobs that do not have a limiting whatever with your country of origin of your location. They do not have a limiting location. Yeah, that's what I want to say. They are open to anyone, anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually true.
At the back end, this what automatically gives you feedback is the ATS system. If the ATS they have placed they only want talents based in the US, they only want talents based in UK, and you have written you're based in Kenya, of course will be automatically rejected. They are not even the one rejecting you, just the system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So pay attention to the requirements of the job that you're applying for. It's very important because I feel like many people usually feel depressed or maybe saddened by the fact that maybe they've not been called in for an interview, thinking that maybe it's their CVs or application that had a problem, yet it's them who didn't pay attention to what the job required in the first place.
Yeah, and then you end up now wasting so much time sending applications, so many applications. Yes, you may be sending quality applications, but the fact that you're not meeting the requirement, you will get so many regrets, and as a result, you'll now be discouraged to even sending applications.
Yes, very true. All right, Pauline, I hope we've answered that. We go to Eric Muchangi. He asks, how would you rate the job posting legitimacy in LinkedIn platform?
I don't know. I really don't know. LinkedIn is a very great platform to network with, to create your network and even interact with different people. In terms of job legitimacy, I wouldn't say I 100% believe that you can only find your job on LinkedIn. Explore other platforms. A job may be posted on the website, yes, and they may fill the job on the website, but sometimes they may forget to cancel the job on LinkedIn. So by the time maybe you're applying, they have already now closed applications. Just even another thing just to check, if you see a company that is hiring and there's a job post on LinkedIn, check on the company website and see if you can find that job. If you can't find it, most probably it has already been closed.
Thank you so much for that. Eunice, maybe you can clarify for us what exactly makes up a really good application? What qualifies as a quality application?
A quality application, how I would like to define it, is a matter of, do you meet the minimum requirements of the job post? If you meet the minimum requirements, does your CV match with that job overview that they have shared on that job description? Sometimes we like to, this is something that we check, or rather the ATS system checks, they are the keywords. If you're able to match the keywords on the job description and the keywords on your resume, most likely you will pass through the ATS screening. If you pass the ATS screening, that is one step closer to getting that interview. Because if you pass the ATS screening, meaning that you're at a stage where a recruiter, a human, will be able now to review your CV. And the moment I review your CV and then I see, okay, this job that this person did at this company, their achievement, their day-to-day activities, they are related to this, they look like they have worked in a similar scenario like what we are looking for, I'm highly likely to invite you for an interview. So the more you match yourself with the job description or the job overview, the higher chances you get to meet a recruiter. And when you get to meet a recruiter, you're at a better level than someone who didn't even pass through the ATS system. You're getting closer now to getting the job.
Awesome. Thank you. Let's go to Samu. I see Clavins is asking a question, but Clavins, I don't think we're getting a question right. How someone can access the job? Maybe we can allow you to go off mute and ask the question directly. Calvins, are you in a position to go off mute? Calvins, are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Okay, you can ask your question. Calvins? Okay, technical issue again. Let's allow him some time to maybe get it sorted again. We can maybe go to Samu for the meantime. When applying for international roles, are we limited to certain geographical areas?
Yes, some international roles limit the location. That's what you were discussing. If you
Yeah.
see a job post or that has listed fully remote, but the talent must be based in this specific country. Of course,
Mm.
they're limiting to that specific country. So even if you apply and you're not from that specific country, you won't go through the ATS system, or rather, you'll be kicked out of the application process. So yes, some international roles limit when it comes to your location, but there are other that do not. The funny thing is, the companies that operate fully remote, they are more than 20% of the companies worldwide. Those
Mm.
will not limit location. So I'm sure you can be able to get some.
Yeah. And there are quite many. Again, we repeat, there are quite many. So I'm so sure you can actually find. I have many friends who are working remotely and they're working for international companies, and their experience so far has been good. I can't say they are complaining at all. And even their recruitment process wasn't as okay. Now, those who have complained about it being hectic, like going for maybe interviews, maybe you can also tell us about how those applications usually go through for those who actually manage to get international roles and remote roles from international companies. What is the
Mhm.
recruitment process looking like? Because many have said that maybe they are called for 3 interviews and then told to maybe send a video and things like that. So what does it look like?
I would say the recruitment process is very different in different companies. Different companies have different recruitment process. If you get a company that is fully remote, most probably the recruitment process is going to be a bit lengthy. And the
Mhm.
reason for this is the fact that they are fully remote. Can you imagine competing for one job with how many people are we in the whole world? I don't even know. I
Yeah.
wouldn't even know. Can you imagine?
Millions and millions of people.
Yeah, can you imagine competing with because now they are fully remote, they are not limiting to any specific location. So can you imagine how many of us want to get that job? And now the fact that everyone wants to work remotely, can you imagine number of people who are competing on that specific job? Yeah, so some interview process or recruitment process may be lengthy, but it's all a matter of that specific company. It does not cut across. Some they will have like 3-step interview process. Some will have like 8. You can have an interview process that is 8 stages of interview, where you do an interview, you do a test, you meet another interviewer, you meet the manager, you meet the CEO. So yeah, it depends. You can't, and you as a applicant, you don't have control over that. So let what you have control over stress you. Focus on you submitting quality applications. The other things that comes from the company side, you don't have control over that. You don't have control over their recruitment process. You can only show up if they invite you to the next and the next and the next. And then ace that next, go to the next one, ace that next, till you get the job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. So the next question is by Davy. He asks, can you get no, internship, sorry. Can you get internship opportunities for those of us who have no experience?
I guess he meant to ask if you can get international internship opportunities, because
Yeah.
now we are talking mostly about international jobs.
Yeah.
Yes, but they are very limited, because you can get a paid internship. But what I say about internship from my years of experience, and also the fact that I was also an intern one day, make sure that your internship is of quality. And what do I mean by this? Internship, it's usually a 3-month period or 6 months, if, yeah, depending on the now how you want to look at it. Make sure that the place that you want to intern in, it's a place that you get value. Don't even look at the stipend that they give you. Some companies don't give you any stipend, but make sure by the time you're leaving that place, you're coming out of that place with value. They may not pay you money, but may it be a place where you can get value, and it can also place you to the next job. Cause let me not I don't say this, but let me just give this example. Let's say, for example, you're an IT person, yeah, or you are a developer, and then you do your internship at county offices or Ministry of
Yeah.
something. Yeah,
Yes.
Ministry of Lands. Let's do Ministry of Lands. I don't have anything against Ministry of Lands, but this is just an example. So you're a
Mhm.
developer, you do an internship at the Ministry of Land. Okay. And then you're a developer, another scenario, a developer, you do your internship at Andela. Can you two compare?
No,
You cannot
absolutely
compare.
not.
Yeah,
Mm.
both of you are doing an internship for 3 months, but most probably the person that will be coming out of Andela will get a job instantly as compared to a person who did the internship at Ministry of Land. That's the
Mm.
truth about internship.
Mm.
Internship, they're supposed to help you get your first job. They're supposed to help you start your career. They're supposed to kickstart. The right word is to kickstart your career. So
Yeah.
there's no way you can lag behind selecting the best place you can do your internship. That is an advice I didn't get when I was at that stage, but I feel like it's something that should be on a billboard. Make sure that where you're interning in, it's a place that you can get value, you can get network, you can be able to meet people who can be able to help you and advise you when it comes to growing in your career. It's not a matter of just taking a 3-month internship and say, I've completed your internship. No.
Okay, so I actually agree with you because it has reached, I think we're way past that era where we were just looking for internships for the sake of checking it off the list when it comes to
Yeah.
in campus or college. We're looking for internships that are intentional and leading up to our long-term career goals. It's not just about appearing somewhere to get paid the stipend or to just check it off the list. It's about what is it serving you and how is it going to help you be able to achieve your long-term goals in your career.
Yeah. If
Yeah.
you get a stipend, well and good, but it should not be the key focus.
Yeah, yeah. And it's funny because we were having this conversation in our job search community just recently,
Mhm.
where somebody just asked a question about what damage can it do your career if I choose a job right now because of the money, because I am desperate for a job and desperate for maybe a salary,
Mhm.
as compared to getting a job somewhere else that is not paying me per se, but it's in
Mhm.
alignment with my career. So picking a job for money and picking a job for your career trajectory. So it was
Mhm.
a back and forth, but we looked at the fact that if you choose a job that, well, you can do a job right now for the money, but after 5 years, how exactly is that going to be able to help you grow in your career? You will have lost a lot of time just getting the money and chasing the money, while you
Mhm.
would have used that time to grow your career, then the money will follow you after you've gotten your career up to where it needs to be. So it all starts with an internship, choosing an intentional internship. It's not just about going and appearing somewhere to do something.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And
Yeah.
it also applies to, let's say, for example, the way maybe you were working at a place where it was growing your career and then you left that job maybe because of other factors that are beyond your control, and then just getting any job just to pay the bills. It do have a lot
Yeah,
of impact on the next job that you'll get. The truth of the matter is, whatever you're doing right now has a ripple effect to what the next few years look like.
that's true. Very true.
Yeah.
All right. So Calvin has finally managed to ask a further question, but I think we've already answered this. How can someone access the job? I think he means maybe accessing the jobs, the international roles or something. I think. Calvin's,
Mm,
we'll share the list. If it's about accessing jobs, you can share the list of sources, job listings, and job sites that you can be able to access the jobs, both local and international. So you'll be able to get that. So maybe you can say chat us. I don't know if you're in the job search community, but if you're not, we're going to share the link in the chat where you can be able to join us, and then we can be able to share the list with you and anybody else who is looking for a list of maybe these job sites so that you can be able to apply for these roles and jobs. So the next question comes from Jack. He asks, interviews on matters of IT is really affecting. How can I deal with this? I'm not sure if I get that correct. Eunice, do you get that correct?
I, I kind of, maybe he's asking interviews on matter of him being conversant with using IT, I don't know, or softwares and systems.
Mhm.
That's what I'm thinking. If it's matters softwares and systems and AI and anything else that you don't have experience in. It's all a matter of you learning. You have to learn. You have to keep up. The current changes in the market, or rather in the workplace, you need to be someone who is easy to learn and someone who is open to learning. May it be AI, may it be using different systems and tools. And also something else, if you notice, different jobs have different systems that they use.
Yeah.
Us as HR people, we have our systems. So it's my role as a HR to keep learning on any new system or tool that come into the market. People who do digital marketing and social media, you have your own systems or you have your own softwares that you use to run whatever you run, even if it's email marketing or whatever. So it's the responsibility of the person in that field to upskill and learn, because it's changing very fast. Things are changing very fast. AI is here. And another thing, if you have not accepted that AI is here to stay and you have tried to integrate it in your day-to-day activities, trust me, you're going to be left behind. And I don't know how you're going to catch up, because right now we have moved from ChatGPT, we are using another AI. Things are moving at a very fast stage.
Yeah.
It's all a matter of keeping up the pace, learning, upskilling, relearning, or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And it actually reminds me of a saying that was said by a very important guy. He's an internal auditor at Meta. I remember his name is Alex Gasheshe. He said that AI is not going to replace us. It's the people who know how to use AI that will
We are
replace.
going to replace people who don't.
Yes.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you don't know how to use AI, you're being left behind. And that's where your challenge is going to be at. Maybe you're qualified for a certain job, but the fact that you just don't have the skills or the literacy in using AI, that's what's going to set you apart or maybe be your own downfall. So if I were you, I'd get my mind on AI and try to learn as much as I can about AI and the tools that are being used by companies, different fields, to do or maybe make work easier. So yeah.
Yeah,
I
because
think
the
that's that.
person who know to use that AI is the one going to get that job.
Yes.
So the AI won't replace the job. If the
Yeah.
person who know how to use it will be the one to get the job, and you'll be left behind.
Yeah. So if there's anyone who's wondering how you can be able to stay competitive in the job market, that's one piece of advice Eunice can leave you with. Just make sure you're well conversant with the types of AI being used in the market right now. So as we continue, okay, see other questions have popped up. We may continue with them then. Kigo is asking, what can you advise data analysts and speak about the job market? Yeah.
Data analyst. I would say what I can advise is data analyst is one of the best, or rather not the best, the competitive job in the market. And I mean that there was a survey that came out. I don't have it right now, but it was a matter of the jobs that are going to remain competitive in the next 5 years, and data analyst was one of them. So what can I advise in terms of the job market? Just keep up with what it is required. Yes, it is changing. It's not a matter of, let me try to remember. Back then, data analysts used what tool? Okay, let's just even say Excel. You remember that time when you had to do computer packages? I'm not sure the people that who are in the crowd. Maybe now I'm shouting my age, but what I'm trying to say is whatever was used back then, it has changed to something else in the present. So it's a matter of you keeping up with what do data analysts use and what skill, what language do I need to learn? Python, SQL, whatever, that I should keep up just to make sure that even as the market change, I have the skills that the market requires, which puts me at a better advantage as compared to the other people that don't.
Yeah. Awesome. So I wanted to actually ask in line with that question. When you're recruiting talents, because I'm guessing that maybe you're recruiting for different, if you're working for a particular company as a recruiter, you're recruiting for different departments. Yes? So whenever you're recruiting different talents, how exactly do you go about it? Is it that you look particularly at the talents in specific areas, or you look generally over the applications and just recruit from what you are able to see? How is the process of recruiting different talents for different departments looking like? How do you do that?
So different departments, let's say, for example, I'm recruiting people from the IT side, I'm recruiting people from the sales side. That's what you mean?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so let's put it like these. So in a company, there are different departments. And for there's someone who is,
Yeah.
should we mute them? Can we?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So in different company, there are different departments. For a need to arise in a company, it means that maybe someone left, maybe there is a new opportunity, maybe they want to add people on their team, maybe the company is growing. So if I got your questions right, you're asking how is the recruitment process depending on different jobs in different departments. I'm not
Yes.
sure if that's the question.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
so
is.
let's say, for example, I'm hiring an IT person or a software developer. It's a matter of getting a better understanding of what the team that they want this person to join the team, or what the team lead. They want an additional person. What role is this additional person coming to fill? And then from that, that's when I can now be able to come up with a job description, maybe working with these team lead, just to be able to see a job description that fits to what this person will be coming to do. And then after that, that's when you go to the market, advertise. And let me tell you the truth, I feel like 80% of the jobs are not advertised. Sorry to say that, but let me just say it, 80% of the jobs sometimes are posted, but the filling or the recruitment process happens before you submit your application. That is just to advise you, ensure that your network is good, you're networking with people, you're reaching out to people, you're keeping in contact with people. Because sometimes it's a matter of, yes, there's a vacant. I know someone who maybe we have people in our database who had already applied. And then even before we publish the job online, we check on that database and then we can fill that job. But if it's a role that, let's say, for example, we have a team of data analysts, sometimes even the companies give the internal team the first priority to refer people that can work in that job. So it goes back to how is your network? You as a data analyst, do you connect with other data analysts? Do they know your skills? Do they know you're currently job hunting, you're in the market, you're looking for opportunities, just to make sure that your network is in contact with, you're in contact with your network in regards to your opportunities that you're currently looking for.
That is, oh my God, I don't know. I don't even know what to say. I'm just amazed because you've just said something that I think will stick with me for longer than I can even count for. Building your networks is very, very important. It's not just about having the skills and having the right qualifications for the role that you're applying for. It's also about who do you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also,
So
let's not get it wrong. It's not a matter of who do you know to connect you to the job. Who do you know that can speak for you when you're not there? And speaking for you is, I know this person, they're experienced, maybe they can apply for the job. And then another thing, let me just say this one thing. If someone refers you to the job, they are referring you to go represent yourself to that job. They are not referring you to go get hired. We experienced a situation where someone has referred someone to a job, to me as a recruiter. And then this person is just coming ready. Okay, yes, I am here. I was referred to. And then you're like, okay, this person do not even have an understanding of what the JD is about. I don't know if it's ignorance or they just didn't think about it. If someone refers you to the job, make sure you do your research, prepare, present yourself, talk, sell yourself, sell your skills. May it be they just connected you, they just gave you a staircase to getting to that level, but don't waste that opportunity, because a referral goes a long way as compared to you submitting an application.
But once you get to the door, it's now up to you. How you impress
Yeah,
the
once you get
recruiter.
referred, it's up to you. Don't get
Mhm.
referred and then think that automatically, because the person who referred you knows the recruiter, you'll get the job. That's not even possible. You need to sell yourself. You need to sell your skills. You need to convince the recruiter that this was a good referral.
Yeah. All right. So let's go to the next question. This question is by Nelias. He asks, is it possible for someone to miss a job just because they are not answering all the questions in an interview? And if yes, how can someone respond to questions that he or she doesn't know, but the person is very good in any other qualities required, like for instance, courage, fluency, etc.
Um, yes. So let me just say, yes, you can miss a job because you didn't answer the questions. Because it's a matter of, it's not a matter, it's a screening. It's like getting screened for an opportunity, but you don't pass the screening test. It's not possible for you to be considered for the opportunity. So not answering the questions, let me see, not answering the question in the interview, how can someone respond to questions that he or she doesn't know, but the person is very good in other qualities? So it depends. Are these scenario-based questions? Are these specific questions? Are these behavioral questions? There are different sets of questions that you get asked in the interview. And sometimes it's all a matter of testing this person to see if they can be able to think outside the box. You don't need to be specific. You need to be specific in your questions, but you don't need to be 100% correct. It's all a matter of how can you be able to understand the question that you have been asked, internalize it, and respond. It's all a matter of just testing your communication style, just testing how you're able to understand a question, just testing how you're able to communicate your answer, share your ideas. Yeah, so those are the questions that we asked during the interview. If you meant questions during the application process, some questions are usually mandatory, and most of these questions are usually have a star. The star mark, which is a requirement. If you don't answer a starred question, most probably you won't be considered because that was a requirement. You didn't submit that answer.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. I hope she's been able to answer your question. All right. So let's go to the next question. It's still Kigo who asks, how can I connect with as many data analysts as possible? Is there some sort of platform with a group of data analysts?
It goes back to your research. If you want to connect to data analysts, imagine you will find them. Even go to LinkedIn, search data analyst group, you will find them. Go to, nowadays we even have TikTok, go to different platforms that have different groups that you can be able now to connect with data analysts. And sometimes it's as easy as searching data analyst on LinkedIn and connecting with that person.
Yes. I can also advise maybe checking out Reddit. Platforms like Reddit, they have conversations day in, day out. You can just go and contribute to a conversation, and then you can also get in with the boys and the girls there.
Yeah, and also another platform that is good for community chat apps. Chats is Glassdoor. Glassdoor has very good community channels, and you just need to look for data analysts and find them.
Yes, absolutely. So hope we've been able to answer the question for you. So the next question comes from Rosemary. She says, please shed some light about how to answer the question. Please tell us about yourself. I feel like this is the monster of all questions when it comes to interviews. It scares people so much. You get there and you don't even, maybe you've practiced for a whole week how you're going to answer it, but then you get there and it all goes away. So please tell us. I'm also curious.
I feel like it goes away because people cram their CV and The recruiter didn't ask, tell me about your CV. They asked, tell me about yourself. If you're
Yes.
answering a question about yourself, it's the same as, what is your name? Your name will never change. Your name will always be Josie Joroge,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So it's a matter of, don't cram your CV. Even if someone has worked on your CV, don't cram it. Understand yourself. Me as a person, I'm Eunice. I like doing this. I have been working in this. My skills are these. It's as easy as that. Don't go about reading your whole CV. The recruiter already has a CV. They have your CV. They can be able to read your CV. And furthermore, if they were asking for your CV, if at all they wanted to hear you read your CV, I don't know, they would ask, what did you do in this job and this and this and this, and then all you can share with that. But when someone asks you about yourself, share more than what is your CV. That is a secret. And furthermore, be you, be present, be in that moment. Uh, share details in regards to you and your background in specific area, but at the same time, how does your background fit in this job that you applied? Why are you in that interview room?
All right.
Yeah.
So I think where usually people get so confused when it comes to telling the recruiters about themselves is they get torn between sharing their work experience, sharing their professional uh, outlook, with sharing a bit about themselves as well. So they get torn with how much is too much and how much can I share with the recruiter, enough to tell them that I am human, but I'm also good at doing this, and this is the value I'm going to give you as a company. So how can you formulate that in like a minute or two that you've been given?
Yeah. Yeah, because most of the time it's usually a minute or two. Number one is, don't overshare. Don't overshare when it comes to your background and experience. Don't overshare when it comes to your personal life and your interest and whatever. Find a balance. Furthermore, you're saying things that would make a recruiter remember you. You remember that is the first conversation that maybe you're having with that recruiter. So if you leave that room, the recruiter has your name from the CV, but what is that one thing that recruiter can't remember you when you leave? And that is what you share on that first minute, or rather first sentence.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
actually true. Which brings me to my next question about cover letters. But before we get there, I would like to remind everyone that if you still have a question, we have about 10 minutes left, actually less. So if you do have a question, please raise your hand, or you can share with us in the chat and we'll get to your question and then be able to address it before we close down our session for the day. So Eunice, the next question now goes to cover letters. Yeah. I've had several people talk to me about them, and I've actually also been curious about them. The importance of cover letters. We can maybe start with the first part of it. When writing a cover letter, what exactly is supposed to be included in a cover letter? Because just as you've said, when you're answering the question of tell me about yourself, it's not about copy pasting what's in the CV and telling it to the recruiter. In the cover letter, many people also tend to copy paste what's in the CV and thus turn it into a cover letter, and that's it. So what is included in a cover letter, and what do you look for as a recruiter when you're viewing or reviewing a cover letter?
Okay. First, I would like to maybe mention the fact that sometimes cover letters are not mandatory. If you're submitting an application and they do ask for a cover letter, yes, submit the cover letter. But most will find, like, some job applications, they do not require you to submit a cover letter. If in a job application you're required to submit a cover letter is an introduction. Cover letter is you introducing yourself to that person. It should have like 3 paragraphs. First is an introduction, and then the body, and then the conclusion. So it's just you introducing yourself, and also you transferring the skills that you have already gained from your past experience or your desire to be able to deliver in that company. It's like a pitch. You see how you read a book when you want to read a book? It's usually the second page, not the cover page, the first page. There's an overview of what the book is about. So you read that, or rather at the back page, just to be able to have an idea of what this book is about. So it's the same thing. A cover letter is something that helps the recruiter to have an idea of who this person is.
Yeah. Okay.
And the key thing is to ensure that whatever you mention in the cover letter reflects to you working in that company, in that job, and excelling in that job. And
Yeah.
also show enthusiasm to you wanting to work in that company. Why? Because you want to solve a problem, because you want to do a specific thing, but let it connect between you and the company that you'll be working with.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right. So technically, you've mentioned the second question was about the importance of it in job applications, and you've said that maybe when you're submitting, maybe it's only when it's asked for. So it's not necessary that you submit if it's not asked for. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a mandatory. Most recruiters don't review cover letters. So if you have been asked to submit a cover letter during an application, submit it. Nowadays, especially when you start applying for the remote jobs, you'll find that during the application process, they share a summary of yourself.
Mm.
Yeah, you don't have now to attach another cover letter even after writing that summary. The summary is just you introducing yourself to the client or to the talent to the company that you want to work with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So if
So,
it's not asked, you don't have to.
okay, perfect. Thank you. So let's go to the next question. But before that, I see Josh has raised his hand. So Josh, this is your opportunity to ask a question. So you can go on, you can unmute.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. I just wanted to ask if you're from a different field, for example, you're from marketing and you're moving into finance, how do you bring that into your CV? Because, for example, you've got a considerable amount of experience that you need to bring on board in order not to have a void in your CV. How do you bring that on board? Thank you very much.
So if you're from marketing and you want to go to which field? Sorry, I didn't get that.
I'm saying, for example, unrelated fields. For example, let's say
Mhm.
today cruise ships are the in thing. You go to cruise
Mm.
ships and then you come back. You need to your work, your papers are for finance. You want to move into finance. How do you bring that experience into your CV for the recruiter to consider it in order not to have a gap or a void within your CV? Just for
Mm.
example.
Yeah. Okay, yes, I get your question. So remember we were talking about we talked about this earlier in regards to doing a job and then for the money, and then now you're conflicted. How do I move back to where I want to do in regards to my career? That is a challenge. And furthermore, you don't have to move with the in thing. I'm not saying that you are, but if at all you feel like right now, the jobs that are currently there, virtual assistant, everyone is doing virtual assistant, so I need to do virtual assistant. Why do you want to do virtual assistant? Not everyone can be a virtual assistant. The same way, not everyone can be a teacher, not everyone can be a data analyst, not everyone can. There's a reason why you want to be a data analyst. If you have something that is pushing you to that field, it's even easier to sell yourself in that field because you're passionate about that field. It's even easier for you to learn the tools and the system that they use in that field because you're passionate about it and you feel like you want to do a career change to that field. But if you're going to that field just because of the money, the truth of the matter, you're going to struggle. You're going to find it a bit too much because now, let's say, for example, you want to be a data analyst. There are all these courses that you need to do to be able to do data analyst, but you want to do data analyst because there is money. You're going to struggle through the courses. You're going to struggle selling yourself for the skills that you have in regards to data analyst. And sometimes the recruiter will be able even to see through you, because as a company we are hiring people because we don't want to bring a person and then after a year they go. We want to bring someone who is able to come with value, who is able to um, identify themselves with the mission of that company, and they can be able now to push the agenda of that company. As we all know, a company is there to make money, a company is there to grow, a company is there to whatever they are there to do in regards to their mission. But as bringing a person on board, we are bringing someone who can be able now to integrate with whatever that company is doing. May it be their mission, may it be their goal, may it be their long-term goal. If you yourself, you cannot be able to identify yourself in that company, most probably you struggle through the interview And the fact that if you are moving to that field just because of the money, you are going to struggle in that transition. They have to be, furthermore, I would like to mention that when we're doing the interviews, sometimes it's not a matter of technical skills. I'm sure this is something that people have been talking about. Sometimes
Yes.
it's a matter of soft skills. Sometimes it's a matter of you're expressing your passion, your interest, and other things. Because those things, they cannot be taught. We can teach you to use a system, but we cannot teach you those things. If that is not your area, it's not your area. Even if we teach you the skills, you won't even prosper in that. So I guess the question is, if you're transitioning to another field and it's not your passion, you'll struggle. And if you're transitioning to another field and you feel like the experience that you have do not support the field that you're going in, just make sure you learn, upskill, do some projects, take part-time jobs, take even internships. If you're in early stage of your career, take internships that are able to justify why you want to be in that field, and also embrace it, make it something that you want to do, such that even when you're sharing, it's something that is coming out of you, not a matter of just you reviewing the CV and the job description.
Yeah.
I was just asking, then just a follow-up, how do you integrate this into your CV in order not to have a gap? Because now you're transitioning into your passion, but you're coming from the job where you're making money. Now you want to integrate it into a CV to be noticed by the recruiter before the interview.
Yeah, so there is a way that you can be, that's why we were talking about making sure that your CV matches the job that you're applying. So in your CV, you can have category of jobs. Every time you're submitting a job, if you have different experiences in different fields, make sure that the jobs that you have that relate directly to the job that you're applying, they come at the work experience bit. And then other jobs that do not directly reflect the job that you're applying, they come under that bit where you can do other work experience. Just to be able to see this person, maybe they were not working in this specific field for these 2 years, but at the same time, they were doing something. Just to be able to make the recruiter know it's not like you are not working for the 2 years. It's just that you were in the different field. And the fact that you have highlighted the key background that reflect to the job that you're applying, they can be able now to see what your interest is in. Let's say, for example, let me give an example to make it clear. Let's say, for example, you started working as an accountant, you did your internship, and then you got your first job as an accountant. And then after first year, you got another job in cabin crew, let's say cabin crew. You did that for 2 years, but now you want to go back to finance. So this is how your CV will look like. Your last job in finance, your internship, and then there will be another column of other work where you did cabin crew, but at the same time, make sure that the summary, it's able to make the recruiter understand why this gap. You have been working in the cabin crew, but you have experience in the finance, you want to go back to the finance. Just make sure that's something that it's able now to communicate, and that is why you can have a summary and at the same time you can have a cover letter, just to make sure that the recruiter have an understanding of how your CV looks like. I hope that is clear.
Yes, that's well answered. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much, Eunice, for answering that in depth and comprehensively. So in the interest of time, I think we're going to prioritize the most pressing ones, Eunice. I'm so sorry, the time has extended.
Yeah, we have 5 minutes.
Let's
Let's do it till 10. Let's answer the 2 questions and then we close at, we can give like 5, 10.
Okay, so there's some questions I think we'll just save for another time. For Rosemary Mumbua, I see your question is about virtual assistants. We have an upcoming event on 22nd of February. It's basically about building a virtual assistant career. So Rosemary, if it's okay with you, please keep the question until then. We'll be able to answer it then. It's on 22nd of February for those who are looking they're basically looking for answers to their virtual assistant questions. So the event is on 22nd again. So moving on to the other question. how can one answer on the amount he or she needs as a salary for the work? Yeah.
It depends on the amount you want to be paid, for sure. But sometimes you'll find that jobs give their rates. So it's for you to decide if that rate works for you. If you don't have an idea, just do a research. Glassdoor provides salary reviews, and also there's some website that you can be able to check salary ranges. Just be able to know approximately how much you can range, if at all you don't have an idea of how much to rate.
Okay. So basically, it's about salary negotiation, I'm guessing. So you just need to, how do you usually determine how much you pay somebody when they start negotiating? Maybe you can clear that out.
You know, that one depends with the job that we are currently recruiting for, and also the job the job that this person will be coming to do. But I would say it from your end. You see, like these things there's some things you have control over, and there's some things you don't have control over. You don't have control over what the company wants to pay, but you have control over how much you want to be paid. Those are two different things. So as you submit your application, make sure that if they are asking you to state a salary that you'd want to be paid, state that salary that you would want to be paid. Let the negotiation come later. If you have no idea of the salary that you would want to be paid for that specific job, just do your research. Sometimes you don't have an idea, and it's okay not to have an idea, but at least have a research layer. How much do data analysts make, especially when you have 1 year of experience, 2 years of experience? See what the market looks like. And if you don't have an idea how much you want to quote, you can use that as a base. Okay? Yeah, whatever the company will pay you, or whatever the company will place on the job post, you don't have control over that, but you have control over quoting how much you want to be paid. And also negotiating it. The good thing is, once you state your amount, there's a room to negotiate. If at all the company did not post the job with a range, and they required you to quote the amount you'll be paid, you can have a discussion about that later during the interview process, as long as you pass the screening and also you pass the interview.
Okay. All right. So let's move to our last question of the day, coming from George. He asks, if a job portal asks an applicant to write a message to the hiring team, how many words should be included and what are the don'ts?
There are job portals that ask applicant to write a message to the hiring team. I don't know, but I believe if it's an ATS, they usually have like a cap of the maximum words that you can write. Most of the time, it's usually 400 or 500. But I would say is, if you're writing a message, just imagine writing an email to the hiring team. You need to be as precise as possible. You need to be direct. At the same time, you need to use a language that is friendly, and at the same time formal, and at the same time expresses your passion and interest in that job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So off the bat, Eunice, I'm sorry about this one. Off the bat, I feel like this is something that someone had asked me to ask for them. Basically, they want to know, what catches your eye when you're reviewing CVs for a role? What's the one thing that catches your eye that you decide that this one is not worth looking at, this one is worth digging into? What's the one thing that catches your eye when you're reviewing CVs?
The funny thing is, we review so many CVs, and actually we take seconds to review a CV and not decide if you're moving with it to the next stage or not. Number one, the moment I open your CV, I'll see the layout of your CV and see how it looks like. If it doesn't look organized, to be sincere, we won't give it a thought, because we have so many CV that we need to review. So that's why everyone keeps preaching the gospel of, how is your CV? Do you have an ATS friendly CV? Do you have a CV that sells you? So if your CV is not done well, the probability of you getting closer through the interview, it's very limited. So the first thing, how is your CV looking like? The second thing, what is the content of that CV? know, there's some people who give you a story in the CV, like I did this at this at this. Be specific. Like in a job, make sure that you have like 3 bullets per
Mm.
job. 3, just direct, and it should directly show what you did. Let's say, I don't know. Let's say for social media people, it should be very specific to a point that grew social media platforms from these followers to these followers. Very specific, like someone can be able to see a tangible thing that you did. It's not a matter of, I manage social media platforms. This is Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and whatever. Like that is so much story, and I just need to see like a key thing that you did there. So
Yeah.
every job, 3 bullets, very specific. Make sure that it has a very nice layout. Make sure that it represents you nicely and also sells you, and also showcase a type of person who is organized. Don't write the marital status, don't write your age, don't write the date of birth, don't put a picture unless you're doing what are they called, brand ambassador's job, something like that. So those things you don't need to include them.
Yeah.
Let me share a layout of a good CV. It should have a career summary. It should have your skills, especially if it's a technical skills that you have. It should have an overview of your job experience. Every job, 3 bullets. It should have maybe education certifications that you have done, especially if you're in tech. You need to highlight those certifications that you have done. And then it should have a bit of, it's good to include things that you do for fun. Another key thing, if you do things outside work, like let's say, for example, you cycle, you hike, you whatever, it's always a good conversation starter with your recruiter. It also sets the mood to a conversation, not an interview. And for you to be able to excel in that session, make it a conversation. Don't make it like an exam where you have to do what, you're tensed, you're there, you're shaking. It's a conversation. Just talk, share, interact. Yeah, something like that. I guess we are done. I'm not sure if my internet is the one buffing, but can you hear me?
Eunice, I think it's Joseephine's internet, but I
okay.
think, yeah, but thank you so much. I think we're done. Guys, please let's give Eunice a hand clap, an emoji, just to appreciate her for giving her time and sharing her experience with us. Thank you so much. Thank you, Eunice. We had like over 40 people join us, and I'm sure there's so many insights. Even in the group, I can see guys are still interacting. Thank you so much for your insights and the time you've taken to just share your experiences with us. And we're hoping that you'll be able, can we share your LinkedIn profile?
Oh, yes, you can share my LinkedIn profile. You
Okay.
can reach out to me via LinkedIn if you want me to answer a direct question. Please don't ask me about where to get remote jobs. Just tell me, I'm looking for a remote job on Upwork. I have done this and this and this. What do you think I should do? But don't ask me how do I get a job on Upwork? Oh, yeah.
So
we talked about that last night.
So you're telling them wakuja na mpango.
Yeah, in short, I'm saying I would want to help. Me, I don't mind helping. If at all I can be able to help, I will help you fully. But please, you cannot come to me like, I'm looking for a job, help me. No, come to me there. I have been looking for a job. I have tried this site. This is how my CV looks like. What do you think I should do better to add my chances? Something like that. Because there's some people who reach out to you and they're like, hi, okay, how can we, now you want me to say hi to you, or not in a bad way, but sometimes it's not even possible to do that.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Guys, if you have anything to say as you're leaving, please, you can do it on chat. You can come off mute. I think I'm just going to close the call because I'm sure Eunice still has to go back to work. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Eunice.
Okay, bye. Pleasure meeting all of you. All the best.
Thank you.